federal government, this is $5 billion. Yeah, we won out. Or this is $10 billion. We won out. You understand? They will reason with you. You understand? Because when it comes to economy, you're doing best. So look, I've said this several times. If you turn the eastern part of Nigeria, turn into mini Dubai, yeah, a lot of people will flock there and they'll be doing a lot of business there, you know. And that's what the Jews did. And that's why now on the internet, you see advertisement on Tel Aviv, you can come.
And I am ready to die defending Nigeria in whatever way. When it is God's time for us to go, it is.
And you took my time to talk. You are ready to defend Nigeria. I gave you my time.
No, I'm coming.
Alex, hold on. You already started.
What I'm saying, defending Nigerians is this.
I gave him my time and he's using it to defend
No, sorry. I'm sorry.
This is not a joke. It's not a turn-by-turn thing here. I wouldn't be here. After this election, stop coddling Showore and having him running his mouth. He cannot win a single local government. So
you are the one running your mouth. Like, stop it. Be respectful to Showore. Castanya and be sorted over there. Are you mad? Are you alright?
Mute that guy. Mute him. It's my turn.
Are you mad?
Mute that boy right now.
Amore, hold on.
Mute that son of a bitch.
No. No. Pansa, no, you don't say. No, this is not good. You see, this what I think I've said, why do you people want me to be making commentary, editorial commentary on this? This is your chance to speak. But you guys are making me to make editorial commentary. Why do we think that, hold on, Pansa, hold on. I'll call you when I'm done. Hold on. Everybody hold on. Why do all of us think that we are that important? Anybody, whoever you are. Why is this? Do you think this election will? I've seen the world. I don't know where you live. I don't know how you study history. I've seen the world. Nothing. This is not the end. This is not the end. We can't allow people to come here and talk this way. It's not good. You can make your point and quietly, and people will get your point. You understand? Nobody. No, not yet. I'm not finished. Maybe I'll start treating this as like a classroom. I teach a class. Nobody can speak like this in my class. It's not possible. But I just know that I want to engage. I want people to have conversation. I want to make it free. I don't want to start putting people, banning people, stopping people from talking. I don't like that.
Hello, can you hear me? I don't know why I'm not showing up on the this in the feed, but I cannot see myself, so something is up about this. Let me see if I remove this guy from solo mode. I just came here to make a comment because I'm in an area where there is no good GPS. I don't know if anyone can hear me. If you can hear me, I would like you to notify me that you can hear, because I cannot hear anything. Greetings to every one of you, the total 8 of you that I can see here. Remember to like and share. This is going to be one short response to what I heard the president say, because I was online in which coping that you for others. I'm just I'm somewhere there's no good GPS. So but I saw the response of the president, and I was on live stream, at a later period of a live stream 2 days ago, when I said that the list of demands of the protesters could have been written by the president, and people did not react properly to it, and they thought I was kind of I don't know, maybe I was making some weird statement. But the reality is that you heard how the president sounded. It sounded like as if he had a moral high ground. And because the demands were so shallow, there is no depth to them. You can't just say, oh, rewrite the Nigerian, throw the Nigerian constitution away. You know, what was that again? It's so many vague demands. They don't they don't have any clear objective. And I fear that this protest was used as a way to lance the boil that of the frustration Nigerians are feeling. So in other words, you know, when there is a problem, you pretend you created the problem, then you pretend as if you are solving it, but by making sure it is not solved. That is what I fear maybe may have happened. Because the way he responded, it was clear that well, that is not out the demand, in my opinion. Yeah, see, the demand issue, like I did write a demand that I said this one would have given Nigerians far more for his buck. The fact that the president came out and started talking about student loans and some agricultural project, that tells you everything you need to know, that he feels he's even done more good than the protesters have demanded for. That is a problem. How can you be protesting and the leader is telling you that he has done more good than the protesters are demanding? So hence why I said the demands could have been in areas that would have given Nigeria a lot more for its this thing, for the demands. Because if you demand one thing and it solves a lot of problems, you can see why that is a very, very good this demand to make. For example, if you tell the president now that you promised that you are going to fix the national security issue because you are going to recruit a lot into the security forces and you are not doing it, do it now. Do you know what that would do if they force the president to do that? Because he cannot come out on TV now, one, to say, you people are just burning stuff and stuff like that. Because he's the one that promised it. He cannot come out and pretend as if, and he's the one that has not fulfilled it. He promised that one. And that one will save Nigeria billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. Just one act, not to mention safety that is priceless. Just one demand alone. That's the number one. And it doesn't only safeguard Nigeria from all the over 5,000 kidnappings we've had in 1 year. It would have safeguarded Nigerians from other unforeseen enemies that most Nigerians are not aware of. That's one. Then demand that all the refineries be brought on stream within 1 year, and the government should brief the people on the status of each of those refineries in detail, so that the people know exactly what is happening to their refinery. Because if you look at what Dangote did, that's exactly what he did. Dangote came out openly and started telling people what was going on. And guess what? He's gotten what he wants. But the protesters, the people that kind of constructed the protest, completely left all that one out. For refineries, do you know what good they would have done to Nigeria? We are talking about in excess of $10 billion that we spend on petroleum products. We spend our hard-earned foreign exchange buying petrol that we have under the ground. If they fix our refinery, Dangote will be there, Nigerian refinery will be there competing with it, and Nigeria will be a net exporter of energy. Do you know how much wealth that is? That's our wealth would have almost quadrupled in terms of foreign exchange, and our currency will get stronger. Inflation will come down. We can't even start talking about that. Then the third one, you could demand for AJaokuta steel to be put back on the agenda. Because without AJaokuta steel plant or a major steel installation in a production installation in Nigeria, that country would never industrialize. In other words, we are going nowhere. They could have put it in place and make sure the president and his office updates the people every week in detail what is happening to it, who is stealing the money, who is blocking it. If you start shedding light on these things, you'll find that all the rats will go and hide, like they went and hid with Dangote right now. They are the ones that frustrated Dangote, that Dangote doesn't want to go and build the steel plant anymore, doesn't want to get involved in that steel plant anymore. All these things are vitally important to the nation. I could have said build a new steel plant, but we already have one that is 90-something% complete. Why build a new one? Then you declare a state of emergency for electricity. Nigeria has become a place where it looks like electricity is some kind of phantom technology that we don't understand. No, it's not. Listen, electricity is a common technology that is everywhere. But these our leaders have made it look like phantom technology. And to stop electricity from going off in our major cities, in our cities, all the cities in all the capitals in Nigeria, it's not that hard. They are making it look like it's hard. They can procure mobile power plants. We have the gas. Are we not buying gas everywhere in Nigeria? You use that gas to power those this is the mobile power plants and power the cities whenever the national grid can also sustain it, while the government is fixing the national grid. And these mobile power plants, $50 million alone, can buy you a massive one and that could light up the whole area of the city. But they refuse to do it. Why are they not making demand for that? Demand that the Nigerian people or the Nigerian government buy locally made goods like vehicles, cars, innocent cars, don't buy foreign cars anymore. That's the kind of demand that the president will not come on TV to come and defend himself against. Can you imagine the president coming on TV to say, you know what, why would you ask us to buy Noson or Nod? We like Toyota. Why? We like Toyota. You know, if he does that, the whole country will explode. Those are the kind of things you demand for. And guess what? In 10 years' time, Innocent will be selling in West Africa, Central Africa, and maybe the entire African continent. But did he do it? No, they didn't demand that. These are things that make deep change in a nation. And when you look at nations out there, what changes them is not, oh, because they just came together, wrote a constitution or structured this way. No, it's these aspects. Because we already have the other aspects. We have a constitution, it's not the best constitution by a long shot, but we have one. There are countries that don't even have any. Have gone on to do far greater things than we have ever done. At least in the last 50,000 years that we know of. So you demand that they buy locally made goods. You could demand that they rename the country. That one is not going to be hard for the president to agree to. Renaming the country from the country that was led by colonizers, that should be easy. But no, that doesn't come across to them that this is important. And Nigerians own the name that they give to their own nation. They talk about ownership. Those are the kind of things you want to start owning. Make another demand you could make is make at least 12 native languages official languages in Nigeria. Why is it not like that? We don't own our country. These are the kind of things you ask for. The instinct you should have is you want to take control of your country. These are the kind of stuff. The president will not come out on TV and argue against you. Because if he argues against you, he will look stupid. That is the problem. Can you imagine you make all this demand, he comes and tells you that, you know what, we've been doing a lot. We've created student loan, this thing. We created all this. People will be like, what are you talking about? Student loan is not equivalent to 4 refineries. Student loan is not equivalent to national security. Student loan is not equivalent to AJaokuta Steel. AJaokuta Steel will pay the student loan 10 times over in 1 year if you get that thing working. The power that thing will give Nigeria. Those demands were not made. So that is why I am saying that the demands were not specific enough. You can't make this one say wishful thinking is amazing, hilarious for fathers. See, it's not. These are specifics. This is what Dangote demanded for. He got. Don't you get it? He got it. This is what the kind of stuff Oyema did, and he got it. This is the kind of stuff NSAS did, and they got it. NSAS was very specific. Make no mistake. You can say whatever you like about NSAS and they shot people and all that, but was very specific and they got it. By the end of that protest, the SARS unit of the police department was gone. Was gone. And McKinney, you must know specifics matter. If somebody comes and tells you, oh, I want this, I want that, you'll be like, what is this, that? That doesn't make sense. Just narrow it down. Like, but I'm feeling pain, I want this, that. What is pain? What pain precisely? Where do you feel the pain? You have to be specific so that when the leader wants to come and waffle around you and dribble you, the people will catch them and say, no, 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 this guy is not talking about student loan. He's talking about, you know, security. You are supposed to recruit. You promised us at Chatham House they are going to recruit. Where is it? Our people are getting kidnapped. 5,000 kidnappings. Do you know when you come out and talk for the 5,000 kidnappings that happened every year in Nigeria, you are remembering all those sad stories that are out there in Nigeria, and they have families. Maybe from 5,000 kidnappings, we are talking about 100,000 people, maybe 500,000 people that have been affected by that kidnapping. And do you think the president will come out and mock them? This is the problem. And you could also argue for the welfare of the law enforcement officials and the welfare of the legal professionals. The reason why this one is not the highest priority, but it's very, very important, because if you do that while you're increasing the number of the security forces, the country will become secure very, very quickly. And many of us that are overseas will happily return back to Nigeria and invest. What is the point? If you look at Nigeria, the way things are working in Nigeria, nothing seems to function well. Nothing seems to function well. I must say, the only thing that I've seen that functions well in Nigeria is POS. The rest, there's always problems. The internet, nowhere. Power supply, anemic. And the power supply that they give you, it damages your equipment. Just like Dangote mentioned that the petrol that some of all these our importers bring into the country actually damages our vehicles. That's how the power supply damages our equipment. Nigerians are buying stabilizers, inverters, UPS to protect the equipment, and sometimes it still gets damaged nonetheless. You have to demand specifics, and I feel like these demands could have been made by Tinubu himself. Because he would just write his wishy-washy demands that he knows he will never fulfill. And most people will not even expect him to fulfill those demands. If many of the demands on that list, like one of them was, I think it was in Nnamdi Kanu, as much as a lot of people will support it, a lot of people will be strongly against it too. You are dividing the group that is protesting. Constitutional reform, some of those things, a lot of people will not like it. But who is against the 4 refineries coming on stream? Who is against securing the country? Who is against AJaokuta? Let them come out. Let's see the enemy of progress in Nigeria. Let them come out and tell us. Who is against electricity being in Nigeria? Who? Let them come out. You see, when the way Dangote revealed something, when Dangote was able to say, you know what, this petrol I want to supply to this country, these people are frustrating it. Nigerians started saying, I stand with Dangote. Because it's hard to stand against him. They are standing with a billionaire. Do you know what it would take for ordinary people to start standing with a billionaire? That's Abiola level, standing with a billionaire. And it rarely happens. And they stood with him because they know it was good for the nation. And if you make a demand for all these things that I just highlighted, by now, the president will be shaking. All those interest groups that are responsible for keeping all these institutions, all these major institutions in Nigeria dysfunctional, they will be shaking because they will not know how to circle around it. Nobody would dare to come on TV and argue against those demands. The only one they may even try to argue against is the security one, because they will say, oh, okay, yes, he promised, but we are doing this, we are doing that. That's the one you're going to try. But the others, Nigerians will click on those ones like, why our refinery is not working? Why are you impoverishing us? Our electricity is not working. What happened to AJaokuta still 90% complete? You can't even seem to get it working, and you are spending billions on it every year. When you start forcing them to give updates on all these things every week, they will be caught lying. They will be caught trying to lie to you, cheat you. And before you know it, the people will pounce on them, and you start saying, I stand with our, you start hearing Nigeria say, I stand with our refineries, I stand with AJaokuta Steel, I stand with our security forces. By the time you start hearing that, guess what? The president is going to move. And only one thing he said that I think was actually true, that many people don't pay attention to. He said that he is always listening. He's always willing to talk. That is an opportunity to fix all these great institutions of the country. There are not many opportunities like that in life that comes that easily. Make no mistake, I might be sounding like a little bit naive here, but if somebody tells you, come on the table, let's talk about these institutions, if you were asking for them, you stand a good chance of, even if one of them lands, let's say our 4 refineries come on stream, the knock-on effect of that is infinite, really, because the money that it would give Nigeria to do all kinds of different things. Right now, Nigeria is starving. Let me highlight one of the few things I really find disingenuous in his speech. He talked about how the Nigerian income has doubled. I really don't like when leaders do this. They lie to people a lot, because what he said there, it was a factual statement of in Naira, but in dollars, it's not. And he knows it, but he just wanted to deceive Nigerians. He said the income has doubled, while the Naira has depreciated in value more than over 100%. So it means the Naira will double, of course, because the Naira value has reduced. The petrol that you're selling is the same value in dollars. If your currency depreciates, what do you think happens by more than 100%? That's 2 times. What happens is that anything that you sell in dollars, you get it twice over. So if you go into details, you find out that the Nigerian economy has shrunk. That is why the GDP per capita of Nigeria is half of what it was a year ago. But they use this fancy, deceitful statistics to deceive people. There are quite a lot of things he said like that. Talked about increasing this, increasing that. No, they were not really increased. But he did highlight the road project, Lagos to Calabar, which was a positive thing that he did. But that is not what is going to transform the Nigerian economy. That just stimulates activity. You might as well say the roads we have now should stimulate activity too, but without the engine, like a local refining capacity, so that we don't keep buying petrol with our hard-earned currency, foreign currency. Without that being done, without the Nigerian currency appreciating at this stage, since we are not an exporting economy, if all those things don't happen, forget it. Nigeria is going nowhere. And so far as we stand today, the only thing that is going to change the dynamics a little bit in Nigeria, to let you know how important this is what Dangote has done. One man did that. That's the only thing that will try to repair the damage this government caused. To be fair to them, they are the ones that also approved Dangote to get locally, get crude oil in Naira. But they did that only after Dangote complained severely, openly, for people to see. That is the only thing that can help, because if Dangote starts supplying petrol to Nigeria directly, especially in the Nigerian currency, that is massive. Now Nigeria has extra change in this pocket that we can spend. That's dollar. We can spend it on other things. We don't have to borrow so much dollars anymore. Big difference it makes. Because if you look at our imports, more than 30% of it is from petroleum imports. And those imports are actually bad too. Not just ordinary petroleum, but bad imports that are killing our vehicles. Saved us quite a lot there from that point of view. So I just hope people, I just should just highlight this. Is I'm not here to do any long stream. I'm not in a good position to do that. Where I am, Mageleli, I'm telling you, man, I've seen that every time a POS person is doing stuff, nothing, it doesn't break down. POS doesn't break down. I'm telling you, I've seen it in Nigeria, it doesn't break down. I've never seen a POS break down ever. But everything else breaks down. Everything else breaks down. Maybe it does. I don't know. I've not seen it. That's all I'm saying. I've not seen it break down. Of course, something like POS will break down, but it doesn't require electricity though. So you just need to be able to charge it a little bit. You have carry it in your hand and you connect to the network. You're good to go. As long as the network is available, POS should be fine. I'm not seeing one POS guy that said, you know what, or a lady that took your money and your card and put it in there and it doesn't work. I'm not seeing one in Nigeria. So that tells you that maybe on that one, I'm just saying from what I can see. And one other aspect I wanted to highlight, you know, he talked about the amount we are spending on our national budget. That's to service our national debt. You see, that he made one statement that we are spending 90% of our income servicing national debt. Again, that is misleading comment. During a conversation the other day, we found out that 90% they were talking about that was happening before was the after all the expenditure, the remnant of after all expenditures, 90% was being spent on national debt. That after Nigeria spent, so it's not like they're spending all our income on national debt, and we are talking about locally generated income, not foreign this in the currency. So when they say that, they are misleading you. They're making it look like all our money that we are getting, we are spending it on the servicing national debt. That's not accurate. There's a lot of things that they say that it's just you have to really dig deeper into that number, and we are telling you. Then you start finding out, okay, this is misleading comment that he just made. Because that is one of the comments that they used to remove the fuel subsidies. Because they told us that we're using 97% of our income to service national debt. But it's inaccurate. Because it doesn't even make sense. Nigeria owes $100-something billion. How would you use 90-something% of all your income, which is equivalent to $30-something billion to service that debt? That debt is over, some of them are over 20, 50 years. So there's no way you'll be using 97% to service it. And if you go into the details, then you find out that it's just what is remaining after the government expenditure, they spend that on the national debt. And they create this alarm to get us to agree to them removing the fuel subsidies. But I guess all I can advise is we look deeper into the numbers, what they are quoting, and we make specific demands. And I'm not the only one that has said this. A lot of people have also said the same thing, that it is better you make specific demands. You are more likely to get it than you make wishy-washy demands that would even enable them to just say, you know what, we are going to look into it, and they will disappear. You have to make it in such a way that if you want a constitutional reform, you say, okay, you do it, but you have to brief us every week on what is going on. You have to promise to brief us every week on it. And then you are also going to say, we are going to revisit these protests in a year's time to see whether these demands have been met. To mark the date of this protest, the 1st August of this year, we're going to mark it next year. If the demands have not been met, we're going to be out on the street again. And obviously, there will be more skepticism towards the government if they do that. So I will just leave it at that. This is not a session for people to come in and talk. I think you guys are going to have a chance to discuss these issues this evening. I'm probably not going to be around because I find that when I'm around, I'm trying to stream. I tend to have issues with bandwidth. So I barely was able to say anything the other day. So I just thought I should highlight these things and you know, so that people can think of alternative ways of dealing with their government. For better or for worse, Nigerian government is not the worst under the sun because they listen. And that is strange, really, for me to be saying, because I'm a very, very skeptical person. But I've seen that they do listen when Nigerians move from cybersecurity. What am I supposed to say? They don't move. They do. Because when Nigeria didn't like the cybersecurity level, they remove it. Then when they complain, they do. When you complain and the whole country sees it and everybody's against it, they will move. They just struggle. They move. And the truth is, even the security forces are supporting the protesters. But why are you squandering all that opportunity? The security forces are supporting the protesters, and yet these protesters, the leaders of the protesters, want to squander that opportunity without making any. There is all the things I just talked about. There is barely any specific demands on any of them. Not one. Something that would actually put food in the belly of those your people that you're protesting about. It didn't make any specific demand. The only thing they made was that it's going to put food in their belly is a minimum wage, and that minimum wage is a false narrative, because when you increase minimum wage to 250,000, guess what's going to happen? Inflation. And when inflation happens, it cancels out that increase in minimum wage, because that 250,000, because of inflation, will still buy almost the same thing that I used to buy now. What is the use then? Instead of actually demanding things that are actually going to. That's why I said Tinubu wrote that some of those demands. It looks like Tinubu wrote it. It's funny because before I started this show, there was this video that I played about somebody, I think it was a Pansat saying something negative about Shore and Omoroge. I think Omoroge was crossed about it, and he was crossed about it, but. Even I don't. Some of the things they show, I don't understand him. I really don't understand him. Does he not consult anybody on anything? Because that list that I saw on Sahara Reporters of his demands, I was like, why? This is so vague. It's like you are not interested in getting anything done. You're just interested in people going on the street and getting angry with the government. Why is it so vague? Why is it? No, can somebody tell me one thing in that demand that would have put food in Nigerians' pockets, or on the Nigerian table? One demand on that thing, directly from what he said. Even the security, he said what he put there for security was to reform the security so that they don't torture the people anymore. How about 5,000 people that have been tortured? Was the security forces that are responsible for that one? 5,000 kidnappings in 1 year? I don't understand who advises him. I don't understand it for the life of me. Maybe him and Jagaban, they are on the same boat too, at this rate. See, Shiwore supporters, I'm going to ask you, are you 100% certain Shiwore is not on the same spectrum as the president? Are you sure? It might seem crazy. Crazier things have been true in history. Are you sure? Because the demands he's making doesn't seem like the kind of stuff that is going to shake them. Even Dangote made a bigger demand that shook them. I don't know. No, I'm not. Why do you say, I see, don't do that? I don't know why people like to say that I sound like, maybe the way I talk anyway, and my nose, the way I look. To be fair, I do see myself sometimes, the way I look at people. I look at people like everybody's smelling that, nobody knows anything. But it's not deliberate. It's just my look on that one. And I'm not sounding like I have a monopoly on knowledge. What if I am correct? That's what should matter. I might come across as arrogant. I might come across as, what does it even matter what I am? It doesn't matter. Am I correct? Don't look at my face that it looks so condescending. Don't listen to the way I talk. That seems like I'm trying to, sound like I know it all. Just look at the points I'm raising. These things, that is what really matters. Who cares about me? I'm dust. What, Makeni, what are you saying for that you are not? What are you saying? See, I'm not trying to sound like if I know it all. I don't know it all at all. I'm just saying that, okay, so are you telling me For refineries is not important. Security is not important. Steel is not important to Nigeria. Buying locally made goods is not important. Electricity is not important. Renaming our country ourselves is not important. Making local languages, including Southeast Europe, Hausa, and all the rest, official languages, they are not important things. I'm speaking to the facts that actually matter. If you tell me to speak about this thing, Davido and his relationship with his missus, how does that matter to Nigerians? How does that help them eat? I don't want to talk about those things. I want to talk about what actually benefits the people a lot, because it is really, really helping to alleviate the circumstances we are in. That is why when I saw the president's speech today, I wasn't so surprised. He barely even engaged with the list of demands. He barely mentioned anything. If anything, he came out and started talking about, people are burning stuff and they're doing all that stuff. How about the majority of the peaceful protesters? He just dismissed all of them. How is it that Dangote is more effective so far? That tells you that something is wrong with these demands. It's not specific enough. I can itemize the billions upon billions of dollars Nigerians would have gained by just making those simple demands. And again, even what they call them, labor unions, they too, I don't understand them sometimes. It's their job to be demanding some of these things. Good. It's their job for some of them to be demanding these things from the federal government. Say, you know what, you have to get our refineries working. Otherwise, we'll be shouting about this every week. We will not rest. And if we shout it every week, you don't do anything, we are going to go on strike every week, one day at least, to remind people that you refused to fix the refineries. Drag them out. That's the genius of what Dangote did. Dangote dragged Farouk out. He dragged him out. Farouk came out openly and started bad-mouthing one of the highest investors in Nigeria. And within a week, you saw what happened. They gave Dangote exactly what he wanted. You have to drag them. You have to flush all these saboteurs out of the Nigerian state. You can make a government do what you want, even if they originally did not want to do it. I don't think the current President Tinubu actually wanted to help Dangote, but Dangote forced their hand. They had to do it. That's how it is. And it's always been like that. It's always about what you can make your government do. It's always been like in America, when you see how Israeli lobby is powerful in America, it's because they are able to make the officials do what they want them to do. It's just how it works. Don't blame the people for it, or the government for sometimes only misbehaving. The people too, and the people that are challenging the government, have to rise up to the challenge. And I feel that in the case of Nigeria, this is more in line with what a lot of people believe that President Tinubu does. He infiltrates the opposition. Is that not his modus operandi that we know till date? Everybody has said it before. Oh, he's going to go inside labor and destroy labor. And in a way, that's what he tried to do. He is going to go inside this and he tried to destroy, divide and Afenifere. He always goes in and divide. He divides PDP against each other and took Wike. So what makes you think that it's not possible it's going to happen with the protesters? That's why I said the president could have written the demands of the protesters. He could have. Because that's how you control chaos. You create the problem and you pretend to be solving the problem, and then you come out and rise up and say, this is, see what they are doing now. They are not very sensible. Look at them, all these people. But there's a real pain out there. All this that just happened right now doesn't solve the problem of kidnapping. Doesn't help those farmers get to work, farm and create reduce the price of food. It's crazy. It's crazy that after almost 4 days of protest, this is where we are. That Dangote achieved more in about a week than they have achieved so far. Seriously, whoever is responsible for making this demand, they should start thinking about tangibles, real tangibles that actually stops the protest, put money in the Nigerian people's pockets, stop our use of foreign exchange, encourages local industries from developing. Those are the only way. It's not even a choice. It's the only way. We don't have a choice. So how did they manage to get to another point when these are the essentials? Once you get all these ones working, people have already been arguing about all other things, the constitutional, the decisions, they want to change the constitution. People have been arguing about it. The moment you write a new constitution, there'll be another set of people that will be against it. A major set of the population will be against it. So all those ones is just constant debate that's going to happen in any nation. America is arguing about constitutional issues right now. Same in the UK too. They argue about this all the time. But you have to make sure while you are doing all these things, your people are living okay. Nigeria is not okay in electricity. There is something seriously wrong. Something even worse than what is happening to Dangote. What happened to our refineries? Because electricity has been figured out a long time ago. It's not high tech. And they made sure it's barely functional in the country. Even city capitals like Abuja, you look at Wuse, many areas of Wuse, there's barely power. You can barely get 6 hours power. This is unacceptable. This cannot continue. And we have to make them accountable for it. Although the government have now moved power generation to the states, and I like the idea that they moved the local government finances to the local government instead of governors, relaying the funds along the way. People should be holding their local governments a bit more accountable. And I think that might actually make some difference because local government is not very big. People know each other in local governments generally. You know where a local government chairman is. You say whatever I like. The government did that. And that's one of the demands people have. And I think people should capitalize on those sort of things to hold their local government accountable. But the demands, though, is the one that, because no matter what the local government does, if the federal government goes and shifts the foreign currency exchange rate, it will thwart everything the local government is doing. That's why the top is very, very important in this case. And that's what's affecting every other state right now. Most Nigerians now, businesses are stressed because of the tweak in the foreign exchange that started driving up inflation and causing the depreciation of their properties. It's a very, very, very insidious tool that all the way from the top, you can make a change and it affects everything on beneath. It's so sad, really, that life has to become like this. And hence why we have to deal with the top. We have no choice. You can't be only doing it locally. You can do it locally only one, but the top can just frustrate them completely. Hence, you have to go back to Tinubu. Like he is the one responsible. He's the one that instituted that floating of the Nigerian currency. If it was only the petrol, if it was only that subsidy that he removed, I would have been like 100% certain that with Dangote refinery coming on stream, the petrol price will come down again. But that foreign currency issue, now he created all that damage in other sectors of the environment, of the economy too. Everything is increasing price in every other sector. If you want to buy machinery from overseas now, it's more expensive. But I think I'm done for now. I've ranted enough, and I hope we picked up a thing or two from what I've ranted about. I just felt like I needed to say this, and people should be asking a bit more questions. So I hope you all have a good discussion this evening. If I can come in and my my scarce internet allows me to join, I will join. I don't know whether it's going to allow me. It's just to enjoy your holidays. Interview the protesters. You want me to interview the protesters? I wish I could. Man, you need to see the tension that's on the street in Nigeria. It's unbelievable. The tension on the street. Oh my God. In some parts, anyway. Some parts of Nigeria is so high. You don't even want to. You don't know where you're going to walk into. You walk into some kind of crazy situation that people start suspecting you, and I look a bit strange. So this one that I look condescending. I look like I'm condescending. I know it all. That's this. You don't need to encourage all these Olokpa people to start manhandling me now because I look condescending and all. So I have to be careful before I go and get myself in trouble. So, but it's not funny. Some of the stuff. It's not that there's no improvement in Nigeria. There's improvement. You can see the roads, some parts. Man, but there's terrible roads too. There is terrible roads. Jesus Christ. And our people, my God. And our leaders, I don't know, man. I don't know how they do it. That one is the one that kills me the most. Our people are living like animals. How can you, as a leader of your people, allow that to happen? Even just, no, you don't even have to be leader of your people. Just like you live among them, you see them all the time. How can you have your people live like that? And you're not doing everything you can to elevate that situation, especially given that you know better. It's not like you've never been overseas before. You've not seen how people live. You see young children, young men. If you go to like markets, you see young men, 20, 30, they'll rush you. They want you to come and buy something. They don't own a shop. They don't own anything. They just there hanging around, trying to get you to go and buy something from some other person's shop. That is their only job. They are hustling to make a living. If they are not doing that, you want them to go and kidnap people. These people could be securing the country, but they are not using them. They sit them down, sit down, stay on the market square and begging people to go and buy something. That's your job. That's your lot in life. There are thousands like that. Thousands like that in Nigeria. There's barely anybody that actually owns a shop. There are very, very few people. If you go to marketplaces, actually very few people actually own real shops. The others are just hanging around, running around, helping this one sell, this one sell, they get their own cut. That's how the whole thing works. In some areas anyway. We'll see. I hope you all, we all do better and for amongst ourselves, and the government does better. I like to give them benefit of the doubt, even if they don't often deserve it. I'll try my best to be giving them benefit of the doubt because it's the same nation. We don't have a choice. It's our nation, and we have to try to make sure we do well. Students are ashamed. I agree with you. Yeah, that's true. It's just sad how you see these things, and it's not a define. It's just sad to see how people are living here, and how people can just see it and they act as if they didn't see it. Like, oh, let's just carry on as if stuff is how it was before. But it will be better. It will be better. It has to be. See, it has to be. If it is not, our head is on this. So this is not a choice. If it is not, if we don't make it better, our lot, what we got coming for us, we will sit up by force. Nobody will tell us. So till next time, I will see you guys again. Bye.
Don't forget, that state is now an oil producing state. So they now have derivation, if you are not aware. So if you want to speak for anybody, please do not defend a Kalata like a Yabelo. Please do not.
Okay, let me respond to him. 1 second.
Do not defend a Kalata like a Yabelo. Do not.
All right, thank you, Mohammed.
The people of that state.
Can I respond to him?
No.
Then go to hell. Rudolph, go to hell.
All right.